What is up, Ultra Buddies? Ultraman Zero deck profile. This is the deck that I played at the Galaxy Cup videos that you saw before. We'll go over each of the cards, what they do if you're not familiar with them, and then we'll talk about the general game plan of the deck, and then we'll talk about the kind of suspect choices that might be raising some eyebrows for all of you who have tried to put together a Zero deck, and I'll explain the method behind my madness and why I like it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. This is the version that I found I really enjoyed. So BP05 gave this deck a lot of updates. These are the new cards. So these two are pretty simple. The power type says if you have a speed type, you draw a card. And the speed type says if you have a power type, you draw a card. So you can play them both and be like, yeah, I drew a bunch. So that's actually really important because mono decks in the past really lack card advantage because they only have one level 1 that draws cards. But now you can draw cards on level 2. So you can basically kind of mitigate that disadvantage of playing a mono deck. Go Zero. And then the new cards, right? We got Ultraman Zero, level 3. Got his nice little Wanderer's Cloak. And I'm getting a little glare. Oh my gosh. So this is a double or triple. When it enters play, you can give your Zero with type Power plus 2000 BP, and then give an opponent of a type Speed minus 2000 BP. So minus 2000 is important in this meta for like Tiga and stuff that move around. If you can hit them with the minus before they move, you can kind of force wins off of them. And then of course the level 4. When it's played as a quad, you can give one of your Zero a BP grade increase for 1 turn. It's pretty okay, but so that's kind of why we have 2. So the other important cards in this deck are these 2 zeros. It's all about the level 3s mostly, to be honest. Ultimate Zero is a double or triple from set 2. When he enters play, if you give an opponent's battle type, you give one of your opponents of your Ultra Hero type armed, which is really important for your level 2s. And then you can give an adjacent Zero, either on the left side or the right side, a BP grade increase. And then our Ultimate Zero uncommon from the set 5 is double or triple. You can give one of your Zero type power for this turn and then give plus 1000 BP. So these two are a super killer combo because you can play this one. It can give itself power, so it's a speed and a power type. Well, you can't see that. Speed and a power type. And then this Zero will be able to double, like, donk the opponent and BP boost it. So it's essentially plus 4000. So that's like a really, really nice combo there. And then the Ultimate Zero is just giving you BP grade ups left and right. And then we get to our last one, which seems a little funny, a little out of place, Ultraman Zero Beyond. This card has an effect that doesn't work with the deck. It is a discard 1 from your hand, give your one of your Geeds with a type basic or power, a BP grade increase. But the ability is not important. What's important that is a power type, 17,000, so that you can have like a good power type that sticks on the field and stays power type for this effect. There's a lot of times where there's so many speed types in the deck that you're reliant on this guy to give power type so that you can even activate this. So this actually gives you a little bit more flexibility in like how you build your boards, which is, it seems weird, but you just gotta try it and trust me a little bit enough to try it. For the level 2s, it's pretty simple. We have the ones that draw, and then all of these get some sort of bonus for the opponent being armed type. So this one is a 10,000 on double, and then 14 on triple. So it can go up to 14 as a 1/2 if your opponent's arm type. This one's an 11,000 on double and 13,000 on triple, so it can be a 13,000 if you play it. But it's nicer because it's an 11,000 if you don't hit the right type. And then this Ultraman Zero doesn't get a BP grade boost, it gets plus 1000, but it also works against basic or armed type. So the reason I went for these is because I wanted to be able to contest Omega doubles at 14 and 13 with my 1/2s and giving them arm type. Whereas this one is not going to be able to do that. It's only going to go up to 12 and you're going to lose to Omega. However, you saw in the videos, maybe against Gankunstiga Blazar, he played at 12,000 in lane 2. That my only way to tie that is with this card because it's a basic type, and that let him get lead a lot of times to get Blazar, which kind of ruined my game. So I think I would actually swap two of these for this. So that's probably the first thing that's happening. And I might get that ready as we talk about the rest of the video. Level 1s, this is 0 is one that just draws 2, pretty straightforward. And then this is a power type, force, power type, and a speed type. So what these let you do is, with the power types and the speed types, is it gives you a little bit more options to play, I guess, slower. So you can go like turn 1, draw, play the power strong Corona 0, then play a speed type level 1, and you'll still be able to draw. This is like much less important, I think, than the power type one, because there's not a lot of power types in the deck. So this card is going to activate a lot less than the strong Corona power type. But I thought that the power type level 2 is just not very good after a lot of testing. So I rather have something like this. So I'm actually we're gonna do a mid deck profile swap here. This is, I think, after playing a little bit against the Tika Blazar, this is what you got to do. You got to be able to force lead through against Tika Blazar, and if you have lead, you got to be able to tie. So we're gonna move. Okay, and the last card in our deck is Majesty's Medal. So what this does is a round 0 scene, so it gives you a lot of extra consistency for the deck, and also it gives your battle opponent one of your 0, G8, or Z type armed. So you're going to be able to bump any of these guys up, activate their effects, as long as you have the scene, which is really, really good for keeping lead, and also like playing a 1-2 late game and having it to be a 14. Or you combo it with the Ultimate 0. So that's why the level 2s are really important, because having things that boost or armed gives you like more abilities. It also lets you stall a little bit. You get like some cheeky stalls, which I'll get into. So we talked about all the cards, and hopefully that gives you an idea of what the deck does. The deck is basically, it's a combo deck in a sense. You're looking for like some specific setups on level 3 that will really, really put the pressure on and try to close out the game. Now, I'll say it's very, very hard to win games on turn 3 in the BP05 meta, so I would not recommend going for a turn 5 kill. I would recommend trying to wait 1 turn if you can, but there are some setups that are just like insane on turn 3, and I'll move some of these cards away so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. Okay, so on turn 3, in lane 2, this is your man for lane 2, because Ultimate 0, whatever you play in lane 3 as a 2/3 is going to be boosted by Ultimate 0. You're always like, you know, your ideal setup is looking something like this. You start with a draw, then you get 2 more draws, and then you hit triple, something like that, right? You hit a triple, double, and then go from there. But this is actually the wrong setup, right? This is not what you want. You actually want something like this. So this is one of the setups you're looking for. Ultimate 0 in the middle, a power type on this lane, and then this 0 here, because our Ultimate 0 is going to boost that to 17. This one's going to boost us to 19. So you have 19, 18, 17. It's a pretty hard board to contest unless you have BP grade downs, which some decks do, like Omega. So it's very hard to kill Omega on this turn 3 because of the fact that like they can BP grade down 1 and then just live. So you have a lot of ways to like interchange this a little bit, right? Like if you have this one here, this is also a 19, 18, 17, but it gives you a little more flexibility because you could put the power type here or put power type here, and then maybe you could do 18, 18, and then this one would be 20, right? So there's a little bit of more flexibility with this setup, but this one also like lets you do it. You can also go for like one of these. I mean, that's not that great, right? But you're kind of looking for something along the lines of these 3 to get it done, because it's a little difficult. You can also do like if you have this one and then you just have the zero type, this one can get itself double power. You could do something like this. It's kind of weird. You're probably not going to win these lanes, but you can double boost this lane. Maybe you do something like this, where you have the speed type here, you give this one power, this one gets plus 4,000, this opponent gets minus 4,000, and you hope the 12,000 wins. Maybe not ideal, right? So but you're kind of looking for these killer turn 3 setups, and if you don't get them, then you work around something else, and you actually don't get them very often. So it's much more likely you're going to go to turn 4, and it's actually easier to kill on turn 4 too. And so that's where this power type is actually really important, because all these three you really want to like line them up, right? You want them to stack up. So if you have a situation where you're doing something like this, and maybe your opponent gets lead on turn 2, but they only played a level 1, or like if your opponent only plays a level 1 here, then what you can do is you can just play this power type, and it's going to stick there. You know you're going to be able to boost it to a 19, so it's pretty strong in the next turn too. And because it's a power type, it actually lets you play into one of these. So you could do, if you've got a lot of them, you can set up a turn like this where you know you're safe, you draw an extra card, and you're setting up for 3 triples in the next turn. Yeah, so that it's kind of interesting like that. So you have to think a lot about stalling in this deck for like 1 turn, or trying to be a little safe when you really have to go in. It's really hard to figure that out, to be honest, but that's the key. So that's actually where all these arm types come in as well, because if you have a similar situation where your opponent doesn't level up very aggressively, and say you have something like this here, then with the arm types, you know that 14 is going to live, so you're much more free to play another setup turn and just kind of like hope you live, essentially, as opposed to like, if I don't have anything like this, if I have a setup like this, and I'm worried about my opponent leveling up, then I might just lose on the spot. So then I have to commit these stronger cards just to survive. And this is not what you want to do. You don't want to commit your powerful on plays to survive. You want to line them up to like one big killer play. So that's a general way we play the deck. You're just looking for your combos, right? Mostly it's something like this. So one of these two in the front lane, Ultimate Zero here and Ultraman Zero there to boost the first lane. You can also do like you can set up tricks that you might have seen in the video, where you can do a 2, just a plain 2, and then these two become 18, pretty solid. If you do something like this, your opponent doesn't level up, you can go for a play like, what is it? It's like this, boom, Ultimate Zero in the middle again. That boosts to 17, that boosts to 19. You hopefully they don't beat you on the 11,000 there, which is a little unlikely, but it is what it is. So let's rewind a little bit, and we'll talk about some of the sus decisions. So I think you understand why I played these cards now. It's a power type that's can be boosted to 19,000. It stalls well, and it just helps a little bit with the random points in the game. And then this one also, it's a kind of essentially for letting you stall, but I really didn't like how the deck didn't have a way to use the armed function before, the armed feature for the Ultimate Zero. So that's why we added all these ones in, and the scene, and that like being able to play this, get a new card, helps with the consistency of getting your like wombo combo turns, and then also helps you stall a little bit. So pretty nice. So let's talk about the cards that are missing that you might be very, very, very surprised about, which is Ultra Zero Fight, maybe a Zero Slugger, and maybe we can talk about this one. And I think that's mostly it. I think we could talk about the scenes of these cards as well. I mean, this is the big one, right? So Ultra Zero Fight. This is the big why don't we have Ultra Zero Fight in this deck? So the reason we don't have Ultra Zero Fight in this deck is because it doesn't actually extend your kill turns as much as you like. So if you have Ultra Zero fight, you're gonna need an Ultraman Zero in your hand, right? So you kind of already need two of these in your hand for whatever kill turn you're trying to do anyway, because you need to have one here, have one here. Then the Zero fight, what it does is you kind of saw here. kind of rewind. So our kind of ideal kill turns, I think this is cluttering the view, is Ultimate Zero in lane 2, a Ultraman Zero in lane 3, and then one of these two, right? With Ultra Zero fight, it only affects these two lanes. Because I want this Ultraman Zero in lane, the Ultimate Zero in lane 2, so that I can make a 17 here. It doesn't affect like this. It doesn't affect this, so I still want this play here, unless I have this Ultimate Zero. Then I can play this one here to let me do one like this. So what it lets me do is if I have Ultra Zero, I can essentially replace the Ultimate Zero here for an Ultraman Zero. But I'm still gonna want one in lane 1 so that I can beat like 18,000s in this lane, right? Or like I suppose I can still have like a power type here, but that's actually not gonna work, right? Because in this setup, I want to give itself power type and then double boost it. So it's essentially a 17. And then I need lane 1 to beat 18. So I need to do this. So if you look at like the combination of cards, like this is really the only setup it adds. It adds one new setup to your lineup of turn 3 kills. And if you look at that, it's actually very similar. It's only one card different. You only get one extra setup, and it's the same one. So that's why I thought I think it's not adding that much to us to play this. And then a lot of times decks are really fighting for that turn 2 right now. Like Tiga Blazar is you saw if he plays a 12,000, I can't fight it. I don't actually have to play the scene. If I'm going into Mega and they have a 13,000 in lane 2, I'm not going to beat that. They're going to get the lead, and I'm not going to be able to play this. And then from then on out, unless I like overcommit to trying to take the lead, then unless I play like Ultimate Zero combo to get a 17,000 in the lead lane to take the lead, then I'm not going to be able to play this. And if I play these cards to take the lead, I don't play them for the kill turn, and that's a problem, right? Because you need everything you can for the kill turn. So I found that not playing around this card, like it ends up getting stuck in your hand a lot, because the decks that are good at taking lead will never give it back to you. And it doesn't meaningfully add a lot of possibilities to like how you actually kill on turn 3. So Ultra Zero fight confirmed. That's why we don't play it. The other card that we're playing, I think normally you might play in this slot for the power type. You would play either the speed or this one. So these cards, Ultimate Zero gets a boost versus arm type, and then Ultraman Slugger gives a boost or armed or power type. So they're both very good cards, but you'll notice that this Ultimate Zero is a speed type. So it means that this can either target this Ultimate Zero or this Ultimate Zero or your level 2s, and you don't get, it conflicts. Like you just never get to use the power type unless you have Ultra Zero fight. We talked about how you don't get Ultra Zero fight out a lot. This one is an arm type, so you just don't get any sides. So it's better when you have this Ultimate Zero in play and you're setting up a combo there. But because you can't boost it at all with this one, it ends up feeling kind of bad. So that's why I don't play these two cards. This one I think is actually pretty decent. Just like a plus 2,000 late game surprise could be really good, but it's an arm type. So right now I'm trying to keep it kind of chill pill, you know what I mean? But if you did have a setup like this, then it allows you to have a little bit more kill turns too, because you can set up triple and then do like this. So then you go boost this one to 16, hopefully the 16 wins. And then you put the 2,000 over here, and then it's a 19. So it's 19, 18, 16. Or if they don't level up for some reason, you have 17, 18, 18, something like that. So this card's actually pretty reasonable. I'm just not sure I know where I'd want to put it right now. So definitely have to think about that one. And then we have Ultraman Zero Red Rebellion. This kind of follows the same philosophy as the scenes, where you're trying to set up like a big combo play for kill turn, and you can't really take lead easily without committing some of your power pieces. So most likely you're not going to get this lead unless you like set it up with Shining Ultraman Zero potentially, which I think would be a bit of a different build. You might want to go a bunch of Ultraman Zeros, and then you play to stall out the early game, and then do an Shining Zero play to take lead lane 4, and then you can donk this and hopefully still have some gas to boost everything up. But that's not the playstyle for this deck, so that's why we're not playing this. And so that covers everything pretty much. Maybe a little long-winded. Thanks for watching, and I hope it all makes sense. Don't donk it until you give it a try. And we might try to find some room for this one, because that would be a little sneaky boy. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.